layer. This is where the Sony A7V begins, inside a facility engineered for precision at the micron level.
Before a Sony A7V can be assembled, every component must enter a strictly controlled logistics environment where
Each component entering the Sony A7V line is inspected at micron-level precision, because even the smallest deviation.
The sensor is the heart of the Sony A7V, and its preparation demands an environment cleaner than an operating room.
Before electronics and optics are assembled, the Sony A7V begins as a precisely machined magnesium frame. After machining every inside the Sony A7V, thousands of electronic components are placed with microscopic accuracy, forming the
Before any board reaches final assembly, it is inspected both by machine vision and human expertise, ensuring the Sony A7V meets strict electronic reliability standards.
The shutter is one of the most mechanically demanding components in the Sony A7V, built to operate with absolute precision across hundreds of thousands of cycles.
This is where individual systems come together, forming the internal foundation of the Sony A7V before optics and final calibration are added. Mounting the sensor is one of the most critical steps, where tolerances measured in microns define the image quality of every Sony A7V produced.
Sony's in-body stabilization system surrounds the sensor with a precisely balanced mechanism, allowing the A7V to counteract movement in real time.
The lens mount forms the physical and optical bridge between the Sony A7V and every lens it supports, demanding absolute precision.
Inside the Sony A7V, dozens of connections must be routed precisely to ensure stable power delivery and high-speed data transfer.
The electronic viewfinder translates the sensor's signal into a precise visual reference, making accuracy here.
The rear display connects photographers to the camera's controls, demanding both mechanical durability and electronic precision.
Every dial and button on the Sony A7V is assembled to deliver consistent tactile feedback across years of use.
Weather sealing allows the Sony A7V to perform in challenging conditions, protecting its precision electronics from the elements.
At this stage, the Sony A7V takes its recognizable form as a complete professional camera body.
This is the moment each Sony A7V comes to life, marking the transition from assembly to calibration.
Autofocus calibration ensures every Sony A7V can track subjects with speed and confidence demanded by professionals.
Stabilization calibration verifies the Sony A7V's ability to counter movement and preserve image sharpness.
Every Sony A7V must pass strict image quality tests before it can carry the Sony name.
Video testing confirms the Sony A7V's ability to deliver reliable, high-resolution footage under sustained workloads.
Durability testing pushes the Sony A7V's shutter through thousands of cycles to confirm long-term reliability.
Each button and dial on the Sony A7V is tested to ensure reliable operation throughout years of use. Connectivity tests ensure the Sony A7V communicates reliably with the digital ecosystem around it.
Battery testing verifies the Sony A7V's ability to power long shooting sessions reliably.
Before shipping, each Sony A7V receives verified firmware, ensuring consistent performance worldwide. Only after passing final inspection does the Sony A7V move on to packaging and global distribution.
Before sealing, every Sony A7V undergoes meticulous cleaning to protect its optical heart.
Sealing the sensor chamber safeguards the Sony A7V against the elements photographers face worldwide.
Weather sealing tests confirm the Sony A7V's readiness for challenging environments.
Final assembly marks the moment each Sony A7V becomes a complete professional tool.
Each Sony A7V receives a unique identity before leaving the factory.
Every Sony A7V is matched with the accessories professionals expect.
Automated packaging ensures consistency as production scales globally.
Security sealing ensures each Sony A7V arrives exactly as intended.
Automation prepares thousands of Sony A7V units for global shipment. From here, the Sony A7V begins its journey to creators around the world. Every Sony A7V is digitally tracked as it enters the global distribution system.
Before crossing oceans, each Sony A7V is carefully protected against shock and humidity.
Loading is carefully planned because thousands of cameras travel together across continents.
Once sealed, these cameras are ready to travel thousands of kilometers to their destinations. From this gate, the Sony A7V begins its journey to creators worldwide. Each shipment connects this factory to professionals across the globe.
At major ports, thousands of cameras change hands in a seamless global system.
Before reaching markets, every shipment must pass international inspection.
Regional hubs ensure cameras reach photographers quickly and safely.
After an extraordinary journey, the Sony A7V is finally ready to meet its users.
This is the moment most photographers experience first, the unveiling of the Sony A7V.
A simple power-on confirms the complex systems inside are working in harmony.
Sony's E-mount system delivers speed, stability, and precision with a simple twist. Inside the menu lies the power that defines the Sony A7V's versatility.
The electronic viewfinder brings the scene to life before the shutter is pressed.
Advanced autofocus keeps subjects sharp, even as they move.
Every click reflects precision engineering beneath the surface.
Designed to disappear in the hand, the Sony A7V supports long hours of creative work.
From factory floor to showroom, the Sony A7V stands ready. Behind every camera is a journey of precision, people, and purpose.
Before the first frame is captured, preparation sets the tone for every shoot.
The real test begins when the camera leaves the studio.
In fast-moving environments, responsiveness matters.
Advanced tracking keeps moving subjects sharp.
The Sony A7V bridges stills and video seamlessly.
Stabilization turns motion into usable footage.
Even in limited light, detail remains.
Instant feedback helps refine every frame.
Technology serves creativity when it disappears. From precision engineering to real moments, this is the Sony A7V.
Every image begins its second life the moment it leaves the camera.
Color accuracy is where engineering meets perception.
Detail is preserved long after the shutter closes. Hybrid tools demand hybrid efficiency. Built to work day after day without compromise.
Precision begins at the mount.
Consistency matters when scale increases.
A tool becomes invisible when it fits the workflow.
This is the result of every decision along the way.
From factory floor to finished frame, the story continues. Imaging begins with how we see the world.
Technology disappears when it mirrors human vision.
One tool, countless stories around the world.
Reliability is earned through use.
Some tools are built to last beyond a single project. Great tools empower individual voices. When the tool disappears, the story remains.
Every frame begins with engineering.
This is not just a camera, it is a process.
Sony A7V, designed to see what matters.
Every decision leads here into a single instrument of vision. Precision is something you can feel, not just measure.
The factory never truly leaves the product.
Trust is built frame by frame.
Design speaks loudest when it says only what is needed.
A camera becomes part of the journey.
The process completes, the purpose begins.
Sony A7V.
Built to observe, built to endure. Every generation builds upon the last. Knowledge travels with every tool we make. Precision knows no borders. Manufacturing carries responsibility beyond performance. Craft remains, even in automated precision. Built to be used, not displayed. Every process deserves a moment of stillness.
Value is measured over time, not moments.
Endurance is quiet confidence.